So here's my sample pigtail, and Greenwood Fibers sells sells these in a lot of their colorways. They are brilliant. In fact, if I remember correctly, Carolyn even sells grab bags of these pigtails so that you get a bunch of different colorways, and it is a really, really smart way to play just play with different color techniques. One of the wonderful things about fiber is there's a lot of it, and it's really fun. And you can play with color on dyed top in so many ways, and you'll never get bored. There's always something you can try. So I've undone it, and I'm just going to quickly pull it apart in little hanks. And just pulling it apart, pulling it apart, pulling it apart. And notice again, and I could have played with this even more if I had taken the time to do it. I could have made sure that every little hunk of fiber that I yanked apart just now had multiple colors in it. So I'm in fact going to start with these two. I'm going to start with two pulls that both have two colors in them. And we're going to see how they play out. And again, I'm going to split them because having too much fiber in your fold can cause other kinds of issues. Uh, and remember that if you're starting to sweat, if your hand's cramping up, loosen your grip. Always loosen your grip, which is always the hardest thing to teach brand new spinners. We've all been there. Okay, so I'm going to try this first one. Let's see. Let's just see how it goes. And when I finish this little bit, I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to stop well, I am going to stop the wheel because I need to grab my next bit of fiber and I don't want it to get over twisted. So I mentioned that I was at this fiber festival, and at that fiber festival, I took a weaving class and I took a spinning class, and the weaving class was an advanced class on joining hand woven panels so that you could make garments and things like that. And it was lovely, taught by Deborah Jarko. The spinning class was spinning cotton. And see, that was a gobbet. I should have fixed that. I should have made that better. But I'm just playing around here. It's an experiment on a pigtail. It doesn't matter. Ah, now look at that. I'll come back to my Fiberfest story in a sec. Okay, you can really see the green and the blue twisting around each other in a single ply. I have had a lot of fun with combination drafting, and combination drafting, I would split these even more, and I would just hold them together and try to draft from two little hanks of fiber at the same time. But I've had problems sometimes with that yarn splitting a lot as a singles. If I tried to knit from the singles, the needle would be likely to kind of work its way between these two. So now, spinning from the fold, I'm getting the same effect, but no splitting, which is pretty cool. All right, let me continue on. And then I will, actually, before I start, I'm going to grab a yellow and a green and split that and have it ready for me on my lap here. Okay, probably the hardest thing about spinning from the fold is you have to take time to set up all your little pulls. And if you want to spin them in a particular color order, you have to have them ready and waiting somewhere very close by, so you can just keep spinning. All right, so this spinning class I took was spinning cotton on a Tockley. I have successfully spun cotton, but I've never loved the way it looked and on a wheel. And my attempt at a charka was just a disaster. I could not get it. Probably now that I've taken this class, though I am very, very far from an expert, and you will probably never see me demonstrate it, because I don't think I'll ever get that good. After taking this class, I could probably manage to make yarn I found passable on a charka, though again, it would still take some practice. So one of the many wonderful things about fiber festivals is not just that people hand you random samples of things like lily fiber or that you make a lot of new friends, or that you're in a room full of people who are passionately devoted to their crafts. But it's that you get a chance to take classes, and even every single time I've thought to myself, oh, I don't know about this. I mean, how much can they really teach me? But I go ahead and do it anyway. It turns out I learn a lot. It is really good to go back to the basics. I took the cotton class with a friend who is also a very experienced spinner, and we both fell flat on our faces. We felt like the worst spinners in the world during this class. And that is good for you, I feel, to go back and realize, oh, there are some things I don't know how to do, and learning how to do them. Even if all I do is just try and go, yeah, I'm just never going to like spinning cotton. But learning how to do them, even trying to do them, can give you insights that make you better at the stuff you're already good at. So she went back to her wheel for the rest of the day and spun not cotton, just to remind herself that she was very good at it. And she was making beautiful yarn and having great conversations with people. Um, and I did not have a wheel with me, so I could not do that. But now I'm doing it, and I'm feeling really good about it. And I got some great fiber. Um, so going back to basics is just never a bad thing. Alrighty, so look at this yarn on my bobbin. I'm going to try and turn this without messing up the whole camera. You can see the striping happen just because I chose to spin it from the fold. So for comparison purposes, let me do these last two little bits as though just worsted draft, just to see. And of course, there's going to be a big change right here because this is where the join happened. Okay, I haven't yet gotten to any purple. Oh, there's a little bit of purple working its way in. And there's a little bit more. And we'll see how it goes on the next tank, which is yellow to green to blue. Okay, so that little bit, I'm not seeing the barber poling effect. And again, it might be what you want, is to not see that barber pole effect. But if it is what you want, then try spinning from the fold. Okay, need to increase my take up a little bit here. So again, there's a little bit of swirling happen, but not nearly as pronounced, I feel, as when I was spinning from the fold. And I should have moved my hook up much farther so we would have a very sharp line of demarcation between these two on the bobbin. But this is how we learn. We do it wrong and we do it over again. Okay, so there I was getting some barber poling because both colors were in my drafting triangle. But often the reason I do spinning from the fold is, as I said earlier, to get more loft. My yarn, my worsted style drafting yarn tends to be super dense and really, really heavy. The first time I ever made myself, I spun, I don't remember, 2 pounds of mohair and knitted myself a coat. And because I had spun it worsted, the thing, it felt like it weighed 6 pounds, which I know isn't technically possible when you're only spinning 2 pounds of fiber, but I swear to God, it was the heaviest coat I'd ever put on. If I had known at the time to try spinning from the fold, or to try any worsted draft, or sorry, woolen draft, I might have been happier with the results. So I see a much subtler working of the colors in this part, which is the part I just spun, compared to this part where I was spinning from the fold. So something to try. Get some pigtails, have yourself a blast doing color experiments.